Good morning. Please stand and join us in singing our gathering song, We Gather Here. One, two, one, two, three, four.
We gather here to come together, to raise our voices in harmony. We gather here to pray together, to create the world we know is meant to be. We gather here. We gather here. We gather here. We gather here to create the world we know is meant to be. We gather here to come together, to celebrate the love and joy of unity. We gather here for deep connection with fellow travelers who swing divinity. We gather here to count our blessings. We celebrate the love and joy of unity. We gather here. We gather here. We gather here. We gather here to create the world we know is meant to be. We gather here to come together, to celebrate the love and joy of unity. To celebrate the love and joy of unity.
Thanks, everyone. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Sunday morning celebration service. I'm Dave Avitable. I'm the Vice President of your Board of Directors. And in the words of Scott Dykema, I am your platform dude for this morning. I just love that. And welcome to everybody who's watching on YouTube and Facebook. I'm glad you could be here today. And as always, we have the Joyful Noise Band and Choir with special music from Tracy Walters today. Reverend Jude is in Europe, in Germany and Italy with family. So today we welcome our own John Pellicci. As you may know, John Pellicci leads a wisdom teaching at 8 a.m. every Sunday here at Unity of Stuart, and also facilitates the Course in Miracles group on Monday nights at 7:15 here in the classroom. John's a lover of truth, and for 30 years or so, his love has taken him on a path of rigorous study and contemplation of the world's great wisdom traditions. Please join me in welcoming John. And welcome to all first-timers. If you're a first-timer present in the sanctuary and you feel comfortable, please raise your hand so we can see you and give you a welcome packet. And there's a form in that packet. If you fill it out and take it back to the welcome podium in front, we'll give you a special gift. If you haven't raised your hand, or if you'd like to share a welcome packet with a friend or a loved one, they're out on the table inside the sanctuary doors by the front door as you leave today. So please grab one. And also, please gather with us in the kitchen and patio for some treats after service today. I get here early, so I get to try all the baked goods, and I can tell you, there's some good stuff in there, so please join us. If you're a first-timer on YouTube and Facebook, we welcome you as well, and if you'd like to receive a welcome packet, just email admin@unityofstuart.org with subject line welcome packet, and give us your address, and we'll get that out to you. We'd like you all to know that Unity of Stuart is a welcoming, affirming, and positive path of spirituality. Everybody is welcome here, and we celebrate everybody. Thank you all for being the church. Our director of the day today is Hildy Laurald, who's also our treasurer on the board. Thank you, Hildy. And we have a coffee house with Connected Souls coming up
This Friday.
this Friday. Please come along. It's always great music and lots of fun.
We even have 3 sing-alongs at the end, and as somebody thought I said free sing-alongs, it's actually 3 free sing-alongs.
Free.
3 free?
With your paid admission.
Yes, with your donation.
Lots of great music, so please come along for that and join us. We also have a very special Dream Gala coming up. Is it on?
It's on.
Hello.
Hey.
Yay. Hey, David. Did you get your tickets to the gala yet?
Not yet, Lori.
Why not?
I don't know. Who'd we go with? What if we don't like the food? I'm feeling kind of awkward.
Oh, David, there's no need to be awkward. At the gala, we have big, long tables, and everyone sits with everyone. It's light and easy, and everyone has fun. Once the dancing starts, everyone just sits wherever. If they're not on the dance floor, that is.
Big tables, that sounds like fun. What about the food, Lori?
We're having great Italian food from La Forchetta in Stuart. Their food is great.
Mi amore, Italiano. I love Italian, but what about all the people who are gluten-free? What about vegetarians?
Oh, we've got that covered. There'll be gluten-free pasta and a big gluten-free vegetarian lasagna, too. Of course, there'll be salad and grilled vegetables.
Now, I know it's a church function, so I have to ask, will there be wine?
Of course. You can BYOB, but guests can get wine by the glass for a small donation.
Cool, so it's a real party then.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what should I wear?
Well, last year, everyone enjoyed getting dressed up. Semi-formal attire is suggested, but it's not required. I'm wearing an evening gown this year. I'd love to get dressed up.
That sounds pretty amazing. But what about the music? We always have such great music here at Unity.
When it comes to music, you're in for a real treat. Our own Rose Peterson will be the DJ. She's got an awesome selection of music picked out for us.
You know what, Lori? That sounds awesome. I'm going to get tickets for Julie and I today. I think we'll even invite some friends.
That's great, David.
And I hope everyone else who was on the fence about the gala will buy their tickets too.
Me too. It's going to be a great party to benefit a church we all know and love.
See you at the gala, Lori.
See you there, David. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. That was completely off the cuff. And for more events and there's a lot to get involved with here at Unity. So for more opportunities to serve, please check out the bulletin, the information table, and also our weekly newsletter. And we'd also like you to know that our weekly attendance, income, and expenses are always available in the weekly newsletter and on the bulletin board in the kitchen. The chaplains on duty today are Connie and Brucey, the prayer chaplains. And we're actually starting a new cycle of prayer chaplains getting started this month. So you'll be receiving your calls. You may be getting them from you may be assigned a different prayer chaplain, so just keep an eye out for that. We're really excited that that's continuing to grow and evolve. You recognize our prayer chaplains. They'll be wearing the white stole. If you have a joy or a challenge you'd like to share and get prayer for, please join them in the sanctuary after service, and they will hold your prayer in the highest confidence. You can also place a prayer intention in our prayer box in the foyer. If you'd like to send in a prayer, please also send an email to prayer@unityofstuart.org, or you can call the Silent Unity number on the slide right there. And please join me in dedicating today's service to being in the flow. I am in flow with universal flow. Ancient philosopher Lao Tzu wrote, "The supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to." Whether I experience this flow as the current of a river, the swelling of an ocean, the swelling of ocean waves, or my body's life-sustaining circulation, there is no effort in the flow, only life-giving nourishment. I am in sync with this flow, which by its nature knows which way to go and what to do. I feel this flow in my body, down to my muscles and joints. I'm aware of the quiet electrical current in every cell enlivening me. I let go into that stream of energy and expression. God's life in me is always moving, changing, dancing, and singing its easy melody. By remembering I am one with that universal motion, I become one with the flow. So let's breathe and take that in. Please join me in affirming, I am one with the universal flow. You pause and breathe, and one more time. I am one with the universal flow. All right, let's prepare for meditation by singing I am one with God.
One, two,
I am in harmony with God's love and peace, like a flower blooming that will never cease, spreading beauty as it opens up. Nature helps me fill my cup, and I am one with God. I feel divinity flowing through my soul when I lean on my faith and let go of control. I close my eyes and say a prayer, then surrender and declare that I am one with God. Yes, I am one with God.
Can you hear me? Okay, great. Prepare for meditation. And just allow yourself to sit nice and straight in your chair. Feet can be anchored on the floor. Arms resting comfortably alongside. Hands placed gently on the lap. Take a deep, conscious inhale. Fill the body with life and breath. And slowly exhale, releasing any tension, any stress held in body or mind. Again, a deep, life-affirming inhale, feeling it going through the body all the way to the tips of the toes. And then exhale, release, maybe through the mouth, relaxing and sinking deeply into the present moment. One more time, cycling the breath. Deep, slow inhale, very conscious. And a relaxing exhale. And as you feel your energy soften and your mind and body begin to sync up in a nice even flow with the breath, You can visualize yourself maybe sitting by a river's edge or a stream, noticing the sunlight glistening on the water, taking in the scenery, the cool breeze on your face. And as you're looking gently at the stream in front of you, you can just see leaves and other objects going by on the stream as you rest serenely and still on the shore. The river flows, but you are still. Relax and enjoy the movement of the water. Enjoy the flow. There's no hurry. There's no stress. There's no trying. Just being and watching. And like the leaves that are flowing by on the stream, so too our thoughts, our feelings, and emotions, like the leaves, keep flowing by, moment after moment, flowing, and then disappearing. But we are still, safe on the shore, simply watching. Pleasant thoughts, good emotions, enjoyable sensations flow by, and we watch, unmoved and unattached. Disturbing emotions and troubling thoughts and stressful sensations flow by, and we watch. No aversion, no resistance, simply watching, unattached. And so it is.
We're going to do some rock and roll right now. Ooh. Just kidding.
Wrong button.
So we're going to do for you guys a gospel tune, a song I wrote years ago. We've done it a couple times, but we've been working hard on this. And as always, you are invited to sing along and participate in any way you would like to. This is called A Higher Place, and it goes like this. A higher place. Oh, a higher place. Now you know a higher place, it can be found. Can be found. If you open your heart to love, you can't help but rise above. We're gonna reach a higher place on holy ground. A higher place, a higher place. Now you know a higher place that can be found. If you open your heart to love, you can't help but rise above. We're gonna reach a higher place on holy ground. Now we all have our troubles, our burdens and our pain. Now no one's life is perfect, it's true. But if you open up your eyes, you might finally realize that there's a higher place here for me and you. A higher place, a higher place, a higher place, a higher place. Oh, you know a higher place can be found. If you open your heart to love, you can't help but rise above. We're gonna reach a higher place and hold it on. Now Mohammed, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, Allah too, well, they all told us about the path, the higher ground. Now the road it takes to get you there, in the end nobody cares as long as you end up on holy ground. A higher place, a higher place, a higher place, a higher place. Now you know a higher place it can be found. If you open your heart to love, you can't help but rise above. Gonna reach a higher place on holy ground. A higher place. Well, a higher place. Now you know a higher place. Well, it can be found. Now if you open your heart to love, you can't help but rise above. You're gonna reach a higher place on holy ground. Now we all have our trouble, our disbeliefs and doubts. Sometimes the world can't help but get you down. But in a quiet hour, your ears are ringing. You might hear those angels singing, calling you to stand on holy ground. A higher place. Well, a higher place. Now you know a higher place it can be found. If you open your heart to love, now you can't help but rise above. We're gonna
You've been practicing all right. So I have to ask a question first. Was that whole thing about flow coincidence, or did Jude get my message and then added that in last minute? Because you kind of stole my thunder a little bit. You actually quoted Lao Tzu, which you'll be hearing it again. Good morning, everyone. It's good to be with you as always. Pleasure, and thanks to Reverend Jude for inviting me to spend some time with you again. Very privileged and honored. And as you got the memo, we're talking about flow this morning. And, you know, I want to start off kind of just going slowly through this idea of flow. The notion of flow has become more popular as of late because there's been some scientific research in this, so don't let your eyes glaze over for the next few minutes. I'm just going to talk briefly about what they're discovering about flow states. So neuroscientists have been looking into flow more and more as time goes on. There's actually a couple of good books that I've listened to over the years, The Rise of Superman, and another one where they're showing how these flow states are where every top athlete, businessman, mystic, they're entering into these flow states, which are mindful states. Prior to our generation, we've heard it called being in the moment, or with Abraham Maslow in the 1960s, he called it peak performance. But mystics have been talking about this for centuries. And so we're going to be looking at Zen Buddhism this morning. You know, Zen is kind of that flow idea, right? Zen, if you ever kind of hear, like, you know, when you're going to hit the golf ball, it's like, be the ball. You know, it's like, it's that kind of, like, there's no self, there's no ball, you're just being the ball. Because that's being in flow. The idea of a self, the idea of thinking about doing it, is all gone. That's what they're noticing in these great performances, maestros, composers, athletes, skateboarders. They're not thinking about anything. They're in the flow. And so that reminds me of a Zen story. Maybe you've heard this. A millipede was walking by one day, and a frog was looking at all those legs moving in unison. So when the millipede got close to Mr. Frog had to ask the millipede, how do you know which leg goes next? And the millipede thought about it, and as he's thinking about it, he tripped and he fell. And Zen actually tells that story to give you an indication of when you are really resting in the present moment, there is no distinction between everything and you. You actually are the present moment. And so all of our thinking, all of our conceptualizing, all of our conditioning disappears. And this is what Zen training or practice is all about. So in Zen, it's called Zazen. You sit in meditation. Traditionally, you would face a wall, and you would sit there. And you would sit there with a question like, who am I? Or what's the sound of one hand clapping? And this would be designed to bring your mind into a state where you have to get beyond your thought process, right? And by doing that, you enter flow. Now, before we move out of the scientific conversation, I just want to give you, this comes from the National Library of Medicine, their website, and they're talking about flow. Listen to what's said here in this article. Flow is described as a state of optimal performance denoted by smooth and accurate performance with an acute absorption in the task to the point of time dissociation and dissociative tendencies. In other words, you don't know there's any time. You're so in the present instant that past, present, future disappears. And it also says dissociative tendencies. There's no ball. There's no self as you're swinging the golf club, right? And then it says this, get this, that when you're in flow, says this 10-year study by Cranston and Keller, in case you're interested, This 10-year study showed that people who go into flow states, listen to this, are 500% more productive. So like the millipede, if you're trying to think which leg goes next, you're going to actually end up stalling, tripping, bumbling, not hitting the target in whatever it is you're up to. That's why mindfulness training is so practical. You know, I often hear this when we're talking about like ego dissolution and getting into this flow state or Zen moment. Well, how do I drive my car? How do I brush my teeth? Better. 500% better. So that's my conversation about flow. And then let's talk a little bit about Zen Buddhism. Now, second part first. Let's look at Buddhism for a moment. And, you know, counterintuitive to this idea of talking about Buddhism, I'm going to bring in a Sufi teacher. So I think he does this very well, Hafiz. He gives us a very good insight into what the Buddha taught about suffering, which is the first noble truth if you're not familiar with the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism. Life is suffering. Or another way of translating that term, life is unsatisfying. Okay? Is that anyone's experience? So listen to this. This is a poem from Hafiz. It's called Damn Thirsty. First, the fish needs to say, something ain't right about this camel ride. And I'm feeling so damn thirsty. So what's wrong with this picture? A fish is riding on a camel. This is the Four Noble Truths in a nutshell. Buddha says life is unsatisfying. The reason why it's unsatisfying is we are trying to satisfy a self that isn't real. The only way to get rid of that disease of the mind is to enter the present moment fully, where the notion of ego or self can disappear, and you come to the ground of your own being. You enter the oceanic presence. It's like the fish getting off the back of the camel and slipping back into the sea. So being on a camel when you're a fish is very uncomfortable. And it's actually another way that Hafiz gives us access to this word that Buddha used when he called suffering, suffering. The word is dukkha. And what it really means is a crooked axle hole in a wheel. So if the axle hole isn't bored right, then it's going to have a bit of an imperfection. When you put an axle in the wheel is going to do this. It's like a fish being on a camel. And so our lives are often just this very unsatisfying journey. It's a bumpy, uncomfortable ride. So this is what we're saying in that first noble truth, that life is this bumpy ride. And so being in this unsatisfactory state, we sometimes get an itch to do something about it. And without trying to be cute here, I just thought that there was actually a more updated version of this first noble truth that we get from a song that I'm sure you're going to recognize. So this is the Buddha's Life is Suffering in our more modern time. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction because I try and I try and I try and I try. I can't get no. I can't get no. When I'm driving in my car, when a man come on the radio, he's telling me more and more about some useless information supposed to fire my imagination. I can't get no. Oh, no. No, no, no. Hey, hey, hey. That's what I say. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction because I try and I try and I try and I try. I can't get no. I can't get no. When I'm watching my TV. and a man come on and tells me how white my shirts can be, but he can't be a man because he doesn't smoke the same cigarettes as me. I can't get no. You get the idea. No, no, no. When I'm riding around the world and I'm doing this and I'm signing that and I'm trying to make some girl who tells me, baby, better come back maybe next week. Can't you see I'm on a losing streak? I can't get no. Oh, no, no, no. Hey, 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 that's what I say. Mick Jagger, embodying the Buddha. So it shows you somebody who's, in an A-game kind of life, world star, rock and roll, and singing like this, gives you an idea that Buddha might be onto something, right? Doesn't matter where we are in life. Oftentimes we're in a place where we're not finding the satisfaction that we thought would be there. So then back to this idea of Zen and the flow. So there is this notion that Buddhism is a religion. It's not a religion. It's a way of healing. Right? So this is a very important distinction. Oftentimes, we look at religion as you have to believe in somebody or you have to follow what they say. But with Buddhism, the Buddha never said to follow me. He actually said, if you like what you hear, try it out, put it into practice, see if it works for you, and if you're finding benefit from it, great. If not, don't believe a word I say. So in that regard, Buddhism is a unique approach to life because it's giving you a set of tools and techniques, like meditation, to find your peace of mind and to be in this natural state. And God knows we're very good at taking ourselves out of that natural state with the way that we think and the way that we try to get into it by other means. Even religious means and spiritual means can take us out of the flow. So, there's another thing I wanted to share with you, which was shared already. This is from the Tao Te Ching, and it talks about this natural state of where we really are every moment being like water. So it says here, nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water, yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it. The soft overcomes the hard. The gentle overcomes the rigid. Everyone knows this is true, but few can put it into practice. Therefore, the master remains serene, even in the midst of sorrow. Evil cannot enter her heart, because she has given up helping. She becomes people's greatest help. So do you see? I love that last line, and then Lao Tzu ends it with, true words seem paradoxical. When you give up trying to help, you actually become very helpful because you give up your agenda. It doesn't mean that you stop caring and you don't have compassion, but you don't try. Listen, remember Mick Jagger. He's trying and trying and trying. The trying is the block. Right? It reminds me of that Star Wars movie when they were good. Empire Strikes Back, probably the best one of the bunch. And Luke goes to the Dagobah system. Here's my nerd coming out. And he's training with Yoda. Now, by the way, you might not know this, but you know who Yoda is, yes? Yoda was inspired. Let me say it this way. George Lucas was inspired to create Yoda by meeting a Tibetan Buddhist master. You got to look him up if you can remember this name. Zenzap Sergong Rinpoche. He looks just like Yoda. He's got the wrinkly face, the big ears. Really quick, a little anecdote about Senzap Surgang Rinpoche. He was the Dalai Lama's debate partner and tutor all during Dalai Lama's growing up. A supreme master of his craft. Again, a little anecdote here. The Dalai Lama was going to fly home one of these world global hopping trips with Yasser Arafat. And Yasser Arafat had a hit out on him. And Senzap Surkang Rinpoche had the intuitive premonition that that plane was going to go down, that there was going to be some kind of terrorist attack on Yasser Arafat, and the Dalai Lama was going to die. So in the Tibetan tradition, they have something called Danglen, which is a giving and receiving. So what Senzap Surkang Rinpoche did was he took all of the bad karma from that plane trip with the Dalai Lama and Yasser Arafat, took it upon himself, and gave blessings to that event. He then went into a coma and died. And according to Alexander Berzin, who is a Harvard Fulbright scholar who went over to Dharamsala and studied with Senzap Surgang Rinpoche, where we get the Yoda story from, Alexander Berzin said that 9 months to the day, the reincarnation of Senzap Surgang Rinpoche II came into birth. Again, you don't have to buy it. But this was my point. Yoda, in the Dagobah system, was training Luke, and he says, there is no try. There is do or do not. So when you're sitting in meditation, you're not trying to be in the flow. You already are in the flow. You just need to follow it. You need to relax into it. And so this is the teaching that will bring healing. You already have what you're looking for. You already are, as it says in Zen, the Buddha. We are just out of flow with the way we think and the way we believe. And so to finish this whole discussion here this morning, this is taken from Zen Seeds. It's a little book of reflections by a female Zen priest from Japan. And she tells this story about a Zen master from China who, after having the enlightenment experience, went off to live in the mountains and dressed in lotus leaves and lived in a grass hut and was, not seen by any human being. Until one day, a priest lost his way in the forest and came upon the Zen master dressed in lotus leaves, eating pine needles. And the priest said that he strayed from the mountain path and he doesn't know how to get back. And so the master said, follow the flow of the stream, which means that if you simply follow the stream, you find your way out of the mountains. And so the Zen priest Shundo quotes this poem, which says, although there are rocks and tree roots rippling along, just rippling along, the water runs. Then she says this, if our ordinary self-centered viewpoint is dominant, rocks and tree roots are undesirable. Right? We come against difficulties and challenges. But if we change our point of view, then the very fact that there are rocks and tree roots makes the valley stream more beautiful and the sight of waves breaking upon them beyond description. When we perceive joy, anger, happiness, and sorrow as enriching our lives, just as rocks and tree roots and water spray embellish nature, then we are able to accept whatever happens and live like flowing water without clinging to anything. So remember this in your challenges, that these challenges can be here to actually deepen your compassion, deepen your wisdom, deepen your trust in God, and hold to this reality that you already are in the flow by giving love, by being in the still moment and answering the prayer of another, by showing up for another in a way that gets you out of your comfort zone, oftentimes will put you back in the flow. And so we'll end again with a Sufi in our Zen conversation. Hafiz has this to say to us as we end our discussion. Where is the door to God? In the sound of a barking dog, in the ring of a hammer, in a drop of rain, in the face of everyone I see. Thank you very much.
Okay, it's time for our celebration of abundance. Before we do that, I just want to thank John for a wonderful message today. And yeah, I've been in front of people quite a bit, so I don't get too nervous anymore about speaking in front of crowds. But one thing I was worried about today was the ringing of the bowl. I didn't want to drop the bowl, and I wanted to make sure I rang the bowl properly. So I decided to be the bowl. Thank you, John. Thank you for that.
You did great.
And we want to thank you all for your continued love offerings, tithes, and gifts. Thank you to our consistent givers. And I hope you feel the impact that you have in this moment. And we bless the offering, knowing that these gifts help to transform the world. And here are the ways that you can give to Unity of Stuart to support the work that we do here. For those online, there are links in the comments. So we've got text, PayPal, and also via the website you can donate. So now let's give our blessing. In a universe overflowing with the allness of God, all of the needs of Unity of Stuart and those we serve are instantly, constantly, and bountifully met. From every direction, known and unknown, expected and unexpected, our abundant good comes to us now. We are grateful. Amen. Thank you. And then also divine love blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give and receive always in love. And let's sing. Thanks, guys. So we have a few more announcements before we bring the kiddos in. Vinyasa Yoga with Sonia Holbrook has begun. Sonia's been attending Unity of Stuart for over 10 years now, and she's a registered yoga teacher and trained with a Yoga Alliance accredited yoga school. So please check that out. Really exciting. On April 14th, Bob Seema and Shannon Plummer will bless us with a musical lesson and a concert at 12:30. Bob and Shannon offer life-changing concerts, lessons, and workshops. I think they've been here before. Is that right? For those seeking practical and inspirational tools for the journey. Together, they amplify each other's gifts into a divine combination that leads the soul to truth and peace. So please come along and check that out. And the love offering suggested for that is $20 for that concert. All right, shall we bring in the kids? Do we have kids? All right. I hear them.
One, two,
Here we go.
three.
Welcome, welcome. Hey, Jen. You want to tell us what you got up to today?
Hi guys. Today we made, this is an affirmation chain. So today we talked about the power of affirmative thought and altering our neural pathways towards a thoughts of positivity. We connected them all and made this beautiful rainbow train we're going to hang in the classroom.
And before we bless our kiddos, we've got some birthdays this month. So if we could bring up the birthday slide.
Ready? One,
We,
two.
hold on.
Oh.
Ah. Well, if you have a birthday, please stand.
In this month.
In the month of April.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's your birthday. I'm glad it's your birthday. Today is your birthday. We're gonna have a good time. Glad it's your birthday. Happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy birthday to you.
All right, thanks for that. And please stand as we bless our kiddos in song.
We love you. We bless you. We truly, truly appreciate you. We hold the prize in you.
Thank you. And let's close with the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever God is, I am divine. All right, thanks everybody.